What's up, y'all? It's Lydia Marie. Welcome back to my channel. I've been meaning to film this video for almost a month now, actually since the beginning of fall, and life's been lifing, but I'm here now. Today is going to be very quick. I'm just going to give y'all a rundown of my top 5 eyeshadow palettes for fall. These are the palettes that I have been loving, but I'm taking into the fall season with me because the colors are cohesive, they wear well, they even have some pops of color. Everything doesn't have to be neutral for fall. I tend to like, vivid, more brighter colors in the fall. I feel like you can kind of play that up. So I'm just going to be giving you my top 5 eyeshadow palettes. These are not new. You've probably seen me use the majority of them before. I think y'all know, I think I told y'all I did a big purge of my eyeshadow this past spring and summer and got my collection down to 45 palettes. And actually since then I've gotten it down to about 40 palettes only. But then I just bought 4 more this weekend, so whatever. Disregard that. But we're gonna get into my top 5 eyeshadow palettes for fall. Some of these are more like Sephora prices. Most of them are mostly drugstore Ulta prices. Something for everybody. Very brown girl friendly, of course. So we're gonna get into the top 5 of my eyeshadow palettes for the fall. And before we get started, I just have to give y'all a brief disclaimer. If you hear any excess banging or clomping or whatever in this video, it is an upstairs neighbor who is apparently half Clydesdale because they don't know how to walk across the floor without stomping, and also like to apparently hold wrestling matches in their living room, or they have a bowling alley up there. You get my drift, right? They drop a lot of stuff. They walk like they were raised in a barn. So just as a disclaimer, if you hear any excess noise, try to disregard it. I'm trying to film in between time, but inconsiderate neighbors. Okay, so the first palette, number 5, I'm going to go from 5 to 1 on my list for the eyeshadow palettes for fall is, oops, the brush fell out, is the Jacky Anne ABH collaboration palette. Y'all know I've used this a couple of times on my channel, and you also know, if you know me and my history with Anastasia eyeshadows, I did not originally purchase this when it came out. In fact, I didn't purchase it at all. Someone gave this to me as a gift this past summer. So I was extremely late to the party with this beautiful palette. I think it is extremely pretty, and once I got it, I was like, okay, I get the hype. I see it. I can see why this is a cult favorite, especially among brown and black girls, because all of the colors are crazy pigmented. And the reason why I didn't have this one is because I just didn't like ABH's formula. I did not like the shadows, the eyeshadow palettes in their formula, their mattes, and even their shimmers. They were just way too powdery. I purchased the Dress Your Face and I want to say the Modern Renaissance palette, and I ended up giving them both away after like a couple of months because I just could not take it. So even though I was like, okay, I respect Jacky's work or what have you, but Anastasia, the eyeshadows, I just could not get with it. A friend of mine was like, I can't believe you don't have this palette. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna send it to you, etc. Sent it to me, and she was right. This palette is one that I feel like if I was traveling and I could only take a limited amount of makeup, I would probably take this palette because it is something for every day and every night. It has the pops of color. These have been my 2 favorite. I think it's Pinker. No, this is Pinker and this is Supreme. These have been like my favorites. I've been using Ginger a lot, Edges, and Credit for transition shades. So you have a little bit of neutral, you have colors, but the formula is really supreme. Feel how you want to feel about ABH. Feel how you want to feel about the creator of this palette, but this is a darn good eyeshadow palette. It's rolling with me into the fall. It's been with me since the summer. I reach for this a lot. So this is definitely in my top 5 for the fall eyeshadow palette. Up number 4 on my list is a palette that I love, and I really don't reach for it enough. And when I was going through my list, I'm like, why don't I use this? This is from MAC, and this is MAC. This is the Art Library palette, and this is in the shade Flamboyant. And I picked this up at Ulta last year because I was just searching around, you know, browsing, went to the MAC counter in Ulta, and I was like, what's up with, you know, the eyeshadows? I want a palette, blah, blah, blah. And so the salesperson pointed me to this one, and I was like, yo, this is my speed. It has the oranges, the bricks, the reds. Y'all know I love a warm, neutral palette. I am a warm tone girl, so I love the oranges in here and everything. This palette has some of the classic matte colors like that you could buy in a single. So it has Embark in here. That's a classic one. It has, I want to say Samoa Silk is a classic. Amber Lights is a classic. So it has some of the classic MAC eyeshadows in this palette as well. But it has 12 shadows. Yes, I had to count out loud. It has 12 shadows, and to be honest, all of them are super, super wearable. Even this shadow is really, really pretty. I've worn that on my lid a few times. It's a gorgeous palette. It was $39, and you know MAC quality, so you know the eyeshadows have always been top notch in my opinion. The eyeshadows for MAC have always been good. So when I came across this warm palette, I was like, yes, absolutely, I love it. I've worn it. As you can see, this is the one I use the most, this orange color, which is called Dollywood. These two I dip into these the most. I really like this. But for fall, I was like, why don't I use my MAC palette as much as I used to? So this is number 4 on my list. This is the MAC Art Library palette in the shade Flamboyant. To know me is to know that my relationship with Colourpop eyeshadows over the last few years has been kind of hit and miss, because Colourpop will release a new eyeshadow palette every other day. I think we all know this. Some of them are really great. Some of them look like they just press copy paste on a formula and just was like, here's a collection, boom. But this one, I have about 4 or 5 Colourpop shadows that released in the past year and a half that I really, really love. This one I got this past spring, and this is the Sandstone palette. This is one from Colourpop, and it has 18. Yes, I be having to count, girl. It has 18 shadows in here. But what I really love about this is because of this pop of yellow down here. It's kind of an unexpected twist and a neutral palette. Now, I can't really do a whole lot with this up here. I can probably start working with the palette when it gets to about here on down. I don't know why Colourpop insists on putting 4 or 5 ashy neutrals that if you're lighter or if you're a smidge darker than me or even my shade, I can't really do anything with this. But this palette had more usable shades to me than it did unusable, which is kind of rare for Colourpop 18 palettes, you know, 18 pan palettes. But I really was drawn to this palette because of this bottom row and because of this yellow. The yellow is super wearable, and like I said, for fall, I don't feel like for fall you just have to have burnt oranges and wines and dark colors. A pop of yellow in your fall makeup look can really give your makeup just like a nice fresh look. It can really just kind of liven it up. And in this palette, this is the standout to me. This little corner right here, this little corner right here, and this little corner right here. So that whole 2 bottom rows for me in this Colourpop Sandstone palette was a sell for me. But I really, really like this pop of yellow in here, and I really am a fan of incorporating some popness, some popness, really some brightness to your fall eyeshadow looks, and then letting your face, the rest of your face, kind of play up the fall colors with the dark, you know, chocolate lips or something like that. So I will be wearing this palette. I reach for this a lot, actually. If I just want something on my lids, I really like it. But this Sandstone palette with this yellow, this is what sold me from Colourpop. And I got this from Ulta. And I want to say from Ulta, I don't think it was more than like 25 bucks, but don't quote me. I'll make sure to put the link down below, but I did pick this up in the store from Ulta. Number 2 on my list for my top 5 fall eyeshadow palettes is from Dose of Colors. You don't really hear too much about Dose of Colors when they're eyeshadow, at least I don't, but honestly, to me, they're kind of slept on with the eyeshadow formula, in my opinion. The 2 palettes that I have from them, I really, really like. They are super pigmented, soft, easy to blend, and this is the Blushing Berries palette. Look how pretty that is. And it even has a black up there. It has this dark berry, a nice raspberry, a mauve, and a pink. So you can, I use this one for my transition shade, this one in the corner, this one for smoke, this one on the lid. I mean, to me, it just gives me so many options, even with it only being 5 colors. This one, I think, retails for $39. They have I have the browns over there somewhere. I think it's the browns or the taupes is what it's called. But I was really surprised at this one. And this one I didn't buy either. This is a gift from my friend Nina. She sent this one to me and I was like, whoa, I really like this. But I really like when I want to wear something wine or pink or something like that, I really do go for this Dose of Colors one. Like I said, you know, Dose of Colors is known for their lip products, but to me, their eyeshadow palettes, these 5-pan eyeshadow palettes, to me are really, really slept on as far as pigment goes, as far as packing on the color. You don't have to do too much with these. They are super duper pigmented. Like I'll show you this raspberry color. That is really, really pigmented, and I just picked a little bit of it up. But look how pretty those colors are. So I think Dose of Colors is really slept on, but this is one that I like to use like if a nighttime look, a nice berry smoky. Like I said, smoky eyes don't have to be black or gray. You can do a berry or a purple smoky eye, and this palette from Dose of Colors is definitely one that I will pick up more for the fall. And finally, down to number 1. This is a very small palette from Too Faced, but this is their Salted Caramel palette, and it is only 8 shades, but look how pretty the colors are. You know, Too Faced will do the Colourpop thing, or Colourpop does the Too Faced thing where they kind of release the copy-paste palettes a lot. So if you have Salted Caramel and you have Spiced Ginger, I think that's the other one. No, Gingerbread. I got that one as well. They're kind of the same. This is just a smaller version of the Gingerbread palette to me. I picked this one up from Ulta. It was only like 20 bucks, I think, and I had some points, so I used my points to get this. I still like Too Faced's eyeshadow formula. What I hate in Too Faced, if anybody from Too Faced ever sees this, I get that y'all are naming them after food like gingerbread and salted caramel, but why the heavy fragrance in your eyeshadows? I just will never understand why anybody would want an eyeshadow that smells like cake or that smells like caramel. Like, I love this so much, but I have to be prepared to wear it and like really blend it in or whatever, because the smell when I'm applying it is like, like, why is it so sweet? But other than that, this palette is really, 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 really pretty. I love these pink shades here, and as you can see, I love these 2 shimmer shades right here. And this is small enough too that you can kind of pop in your purse if you just want to take it with you, or another one that you can use for travel, because I think you can use this day and night. Like, here's your day shadows, and then you can kind of funk it up a little bit with some nighttime shadows. It's not a lot of smokiness to it, but it is a nice, cute little neutral palette that I really like. And again, with Too Faced, I just cannot, with the smell of the palette, I don't know if it's just because I am super sensitive to smell, but I just don't understand why my eyeshadow gotta smell like a candy cane. I get it. Just make it look like a candy cane. Why we gotta smell that? I don't know. But that's my Too Faced palette. That's the number 1 neutral palette on my list. Last but not least on my honorable mention is the Rich in Life eyeshadow palette from Patricia Bright. This is a mega palette. I have been dipping into this quite frequently, but really for the fall roundup, I really wanted to talk about these 4 right here. As I said, I don't believe that fall colors only have to be neutral, wine, pumpkin, etc. Add some color to your fall eyeshadow looks, trust me. So these 4 right here from Patricia, as you can see, I've been loving this shade in particular. This is a very vibrant blue, 2 different blues, 2 different greens. Honestly and truly, you will be seeing me in these blues really, really soon, because I really love this eyeshadow palette. Even though it's a mega palette, but she gave us a mirror and everything. This is a really, 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 really good eyeshadow palette overall, but I really like those 4 palettes. Those 4 colors, that blue, that vibrant green. Jewel tones for the fall look so, so good. So I would definitely add this to my fall rotation as well. If you don't have this palette, this is also very brown girl friendly. Very, very brown girl friendly. I've not had, any issues with even these colors up here. No color, no issues with the yellow, nothing. This is a very, very brown girl friendly palette by Patricia Bright, Makeup Revolution, Rich in Life. You'll be seeing me in that green and that blue this fall for sure. That was it for my top 5 eyeshadow palettes for me for the fall. I've seen a couple influencers that I follow on here. Grown and Gorgeous did one. I think Gigi Loves Beauty did one. And I want to say Jamie Trini, she did one as well. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do my fall roundup with this one. Trying to kind of pick and choose my eyeshadow palettes. But right now, because we are still primarily wearing masks, it's a great time to play with your eyeshadow, play up your eyes. And if you read any of my posts over at the Curvy Fashionista, I told you that for fall, eyes are all the rage. Play up with a soft smoky eye, stack your lashes, and let your eyes do the talking. If you're out and you have your mask on, let your eyes do the talking with some popping eyeshadow, some green, some blue, some pumpkin, wine, whatever it is a great time to play up your eyeshadow. Let me know in the comments below if you've purchased any of these palettes. Let me know what your favorite palette is for the fall. Maybe I don't have it yet. Maybe I should buy it. So make sure you leave me a comment below. Let me know how you like this video. Hello to my new subscribers. I see y'all. Welcome to the channel. Hey, welcome to the party. Thank you so much for joining. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. And I will see y'all again very, very soon. Bye.